Welcome back, and we're going to continue on this discussion with the equine digestive system. We left you at the stomach, so if we're going to orient you to on where we're going on this journey, again, the feed starts or digestion starts at the mouth of the horse with that mastication down into the esophagus, into the stomach. Now we're going into that small intestine before we get to that hindgut. Now, the small intestine is made up of three segments. You can see the three different segments. You can see the length of the small intestine. Now, the human small intestine is like 3 to 5 meters, which is upwards of 10 feet, whereas the equine small intestine can be almost over 26 meters, depending on the size of the horse. But that's upwards of 70 to 80 feet long. That is incredible. And this is where you get a lot of nutrients being broken down and absorbed. So when we look at the small intestine, you can see we also get some addition of bile and bicarbonate from the liver and the pancreas, which gives us some enzymes and bicarbonate. Because again, remember the stomach, highly acidic environment coming into the small intestine. So they help buffer that a little bit, but then also break down things with fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. So that is happening in the small intestine, which then in turn that is absorbed by the blood with short fatty acids, amino acids, the sugars, vitamins, minerals, and water. And that's going through that 70 feet, 25, 26-meter long small intestine. And what's really fun or exciting when you look at the small intestine and you take a slice and look at a side view, it has all these finger like projections or villi, which the digesta is being pushed through that long small intestine past that villi, with that smooth muscle contraction. So we hear that gurgling in our stomach. That's that smooth muscle going on, contracting, pushing the feed through there. And that is where all this breakdown and absorption is happening. The other thing, looking at this villi is not only are they absorbing the nutrients that they pass on in the blood or the lymph system, is again constantly sloughing cells, constantly. This is living tissue. So we need to ensure that we're feeding our horses their proper diet with all the balanced nutrients that they need to support this, to support the digestive system, because they're sloughing cells, producing cells all the time. So, always important to keep that in mind. And there's some really exciting areas of research ongoing in the small intestine. One thing in the popular press, it's not only in human health, but in equine health, is the microbiome. What is that doing in the small intestine? You can look, it helps in digestion of feed. The mucus layer that's there is protecting cells, again, from that acid and microbes. All these things you can read are exciting areas of research, but just shows you the complexity of the small intestine. A lot is going on there and a lot of digestion of some of these nutrients. Now, one thing is horses are herbivores, right? So they're eating a lot of fiber, hay or forage, and they need to digest that fiber. So, unlike the ruminants, like a cow, where this is happening in the stomach, in the horse, this happens in the hindgut. So, this is where you're getting a lot of breakdown of that fiber that in turn is going to produce energy and provide some more nutrients to the horse. So that kind of starts in the cecum, which is this blind muscular pouch that is mixing the feed that's passed on from the small intestine with, in the hindgut, you have trillions of microbes, bacteria, yeast, protozoa, all are breaking down that fiber. And the horse is getting nutrients out of that and getting a lot of energy out of that, which we're going to talk about in a later video lesson. So a lot of that is being broken down in the cecum, which then is passed on to the large colon. Now, when you look at this large colon visually, notice the twists and turns. And this is a site of where we see a lot of impaction colics. So that is something that we're going to talk about later in a further module. But in the large colon, what is also going on is you still get some more breakdown of this fiber, this fermentation that's going on with these microbes. Then you're getting absorption of some minerals, some electrolytes, and water. And then the small colon and rectum, this is where you're getting a lot of water absorption and the formation of fecal balls. And the rectum is about the last 12 inches of the digestive tract of the horse. And then out comes the manure. So this is an excellent review slide showing you the different parts of the equine digestive system, the lengths, the capacity, how much they can hold. So when we look at percent of the overall intestinal or GI tract of the horse, you can see the stomach relatively small, 8%. Small intestine, very large. We know it's very long. The cecum, large colon, and that small colon. And then again, what the functions are. So this is an excellent reference slide that you may want to keep just as you go through this course and may help you kind of understand some of these other concepts that we talk about. So overall, the horse, this non-ruminant herbivore, hindgut fermenter, is so specially designed, and it makes him so incredible. Now, in the follow-on modules, we're going to start talking about what we feed and what are these nutrients, and then get into some other issues that you may face with your horses. But let's get ready for the capstone activity and look for that video next.